everyone. Welcome back to TJ Hates Quitters, the Challenge USA recap podcast over here on Silent Podcast, where we are anything but silent. My name is Kari. I am joined by my co-host Katie. Katie, how are you on this Saturday afternoon?
I'm good. So as you know, Matt, my partner, boyfriend, whatever, has COVID. So I've been sleeping on the couch for the past couple of days, which actually hasn't been so bad because the air conditioner is like right there in the window next to me. So it's been nice and cool. But like time doesn't feel real because I'm just like on the couch all the time, basically. So I'm good. I'm here. I'm ready to podcast all day if we need to because I've got nothing else to do.
Great. Well, I mean, the new CDC guidelines basically say COVID doesn't exist. So, like, you
Yeah.
could just be back in your bed. You're fine.
I don't know about that. Had it once. I don't need it a second time.
Oh my gosh, did you see this? Have not Katie
Yeah, Seth, I'm officially a have not.
eating
No slop,
slop.
though, for me. Yeah, no slop.
Well, I hope that, I mean, how is Matt feeling? Does he feel
Oh,
okay?
he's okay. He has a cough and, just feeling like general crap, but like not like bad, bad. So he's okay.
All right. Well, I mean, at
Yeah.
least it's mild.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's doing all right.
Shout out to vaccines.
Hell yeah, vaccines. What up, science?
Speaking of vaccines, not to get way off topic, even though we already are, there was polio found in New York City's wastewater. So
Yeah.
there's like at first upstate and now in New York City. So I think everybody collectively in New York City is like texting their parents or trying to figure out a way to find out if they had the polio vaccine when they were little. And I just text my mom and she's like, I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure. I'm like, what do you mean you're 99% sure? I want 100% sure, like assurance that I have the polio vaccine. So
So
that's
when I
that's the
started my
panic.
new job, I think I told you this, that um, they like draw blood to like test if you're vaccinated for certain things.
I didn't even know
Nitro's
they could
digging
do
if you
that.
can't hear them. Yeah.
Hi,
So,
Nitro.
Nitro, can you stop? I just kicked his bed at
He's
him.
digging for the cure for
He,
the COVID cure.
that's why he's been digging for the last two and
I
a
think
half
so.
years.
I think so.
Thank you for explaining that, Katie, because I've been
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to dig through like linoleum floor. What are you doing, dog? Uh, so yeah, they drew blood, and that's a whole story in itself. But um, come to find out that like either I wasn't vaccinated for measles, which I can't imagine that I wasn't, or just because it's been so long since I've been vaccinated for measles, that like it's worn off, and I had to get revaccinated for measles back when I started my job.
I want to take this blood test.
So I mean, it wasn't anything like they just drew blood and tested for different things because I had like so they could also show that I had the COVID vaccine. There's a couple other things that they tested for. Otherwise, I would have had to get those vaccines because I'm working in a
Wow.
hospital.
Right.
So
Wow. I didn't even know you could get a blood test taken to tell you what vaccines you have. That makes sense. I'm gonna
apparently,
look into that.
so yeah, I am freshly vaccinated for measles and German measles. So
That's
I'm
great.
safe in that component, but polio is a whole different story. Um, Not to continue with diseases, but I woke up this morning with a pimple the size of like a monkeypox.
Oh no.
Now I text my partner and I was like, I either have the weirdest pimple I've ever had, um, I got bit by a bug, or I have monkeypox. So like, see you never.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm ready to get the monkeypox vaccine too if I'm allowed to. I don't know that if I'm allowed to. I don't know what the regulations are, but I know it's scarce, so I'm letting people who are higher risk kind of get
Yeah,
it. But vax me up with everything. I don't want to catch any of this shit, especially if it causes
right.
sores. Like, I'm good. I don't need sores all over my body.
Same. I scar so easily. This dog and I are need to have. Okay, good boy. He has the whole. I brought his bed in here, and he decides to dig at every single part of the floor, and not lay on the bed. Okay, we have not talked a single thing about the
We
challenge so
haven't, but
far.
that's
We're
okay.
about
It's been a
5 minutes
minute.
in.
It's
In
been a minute since we've
conclusion,
seen each other.
that's true. We're just reuniting.
Hmm.
Um, so what was I going to say? In conclusion, the challenge this week, as I was watching it this morning, I was like, yo, I can't wait to talk to Katie about this because
Oh,
David Alexander
yeah. Yeah.
is on our TV in more in this episode than he is in all the other episodes combined so far.
Yeah.
And arguably even combined of like the other TV shows he's been on.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Big Brother All Stars 22, whatever. He wasn't really super relevant other than when he Seth also says, "Where's our David Alexander vaccine?" I don't know, but sign me up for it because I'm done with this guy. I'm done with him. Yeah, the only I think I said last time, the only like memorable thing that he's ever done was use a power on himself and then pretend that he didn't and pretend other people did, but they all knew that he used it and they were like, "Dude, come on, we know you used it." He's like, "No, did you use a power on me?" Which is just in line with David Alexander's strategic brain and mindset.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the episode, when we're getting a lot of him, I was like, oh, he's either going home or he
Me too.
wins. And if
I
he
thought
wins,
he was going home.
I was like, this is going to be crazy if he wins. Like, I cannot wait to hear Katie's reaction to it.
I just can't believe it. I'm shook.
I mean, it wasn't even like Desi carried him either.
No.
Like, they both were doing math and otherwise, like, asking, or like both doing their own, I don't know, swinging and climbing and everything. Like, he did what he needed to, and they both contributed to the math. And I, like, as this was going down, I was just like, wow, maybe we've been clowning on him too hard. But then I'm like,
I
probably
don't think
not.
so. No, definitely not. Everybody has their day, you know. Yeah. Everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. Yeah, broken clock, right? Twice a day. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So, before we get into
all
that,
the clowning and more.
I do want to get. I kind of want to do this episode a little bit more chronological because I do feel that events in the daily challenge really impact how the rest of the episode goes, and that's not necessarily true for the last few episodes.
Yeah.
So we start off with the partner algorithm, and I don't know if you had the same reaction as me, but when Angela and Dominic get partnered up again, and they're like, wait, we've been partners. What?
No, I was like, there's no way that this is mathematically impossible. Like, or it's mathematically impossible for Angela to get paired up with anyone else without having like another duplicate. That didn't make sense. There's so many people who have not been partnered up together yet. Right. I was going to ask you what you thought about this. Do you feel like it was drama for drama's sake to put Ben and Sarah together?
Well, I feel like if they were doing like drama for drama's sake,
they would put Sarah.
Exactly. And they even showed a scene where it's like, not a scene, but like a small clip where it was Tyson's turn to get a partner, and they like had the light stopped on Sarah, and I was like, oh shit, are they actually partners? So, I mean, like, could I sit here and do this math out, not on a podcast, unless like maybe I did like a TikTok live and people just watched me do these possibilities out? But I find it hard to believe, and I would love to get some insight on this, and I haven't like done my normal internet sleuthing, especially because like we normally record right after the show, so we don't have to worry about like, okay, what's the reaction on Twitter and the fallout and all of this. Like, we kind of get our shit out beforehand, but I didn't want to read stuff about it because I wanted to watch the episode without knowing, and I just didn't have enough time in between. But I would love for someone to do this math for me so I don't have to. I just find it really hard to. Reddit
has done something.
Definitely.
I'll do a quick
search. It just doesn't make sense to me that there's no way that these people could be paired without having a duplicate for the first time.
Right.
I figured we were getting close to it, but I don't know. I just feel like if you were to give me these people, I could probably make pairs.
Right. So, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Me neither. I would like a further explanation, like a secret scene or something, of TJ's perfect algorithm.
Me too. And then it's like when Angela was like, wait, we've been together. He's like, nope, it's perfect. Like I said, it's like there's no room for TJ will refuse to admit that something made a mistake.
It was a very heavy, like, because I said so, like, from your parents.
Yes.
Like, oh, can I sleep at this person's house? No. Why? Because I said so. Like, why? What is your reasoning? Because my reasoning is perfect.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So While you're looking for that, I'll
I
run
don't
through our
see
pairs.
anything.
You don't
I
see
don't see
anything?
anything. No.
Man, the challenge fans are at the same IQ level as us. I don't want to have to big brain this, but
Mm-hmm.
I have too much to do. I have homework to do later. We'll see. We'll see. Our partners for this episode are Tyson and Kira, Ben and Sarah, David and Desi, Leo and Kayla, Danny and Alyssa, Derek and Shannon, Kylan and Cash, Dominic and Angela, and Enzo and Justine. So, like we said, Dominic, Angela, Raven partners.
Yeah.
Again, very confusing, but we'll just let it go, just like the challenge did.
Yeah. I
We,
guess that's all we have to do is let it
yeah,
go.
let it go. Let it, I don't want us to get shut down by Disney. So before we go to the daily challenge, we have a check-in with like quite a few of our cast. So we have Sarah complaining about Tyson, go figure, and I just okay. We've both watched Survivor. I know that you're not a Sarah Lucina fan at
No,
all.
not even a little bit.
I'm not either. Especially from like the human side of things, like outside of Survivor. So I'm really trying to take this from the perspective of what I saw of her on Survivor. And I've mentioned this before, like she has a good social game, whether or not we want to admit it. Like she has a social game, and I'm just like very intrigued by the edit that CBS is giving her right now because like she's been angry since they opened the doors into the
Yeah.
compound day one, it seems. And that's not the Sarah Lucina that we have seen on Survivor 3 times.
Right.
We like she definitely has a great social game in terms of like interacting with everyone and doesn't really bring this like attitude that she's been having. And I mean, now it's very much projected at Tyson and
Yeah.
understandably so, but I'm just like very confused right now by Sarah Lucina's presence on this show.
Well, listen, Kari, you have to think about it this way. We live now in the world of 2022. I guess this was filmed maybe in 2021 or both, where an election has been stolen from her president and she needs justice. So she is living angrily throughout her day to day life until justice is found for her president, Donald J. Trump. So, that's the major difference, the timeline. She was like living her best life in Trump's America, and now she's in Joe Biden's America screaming, "Let's go, Brandon," from the rooftops. And her president had the election stolen from him by the Democrats and the mail in voting. So that's why she's so angry. Plus, there's a war against the police. I mean,
I just can't believe I didn't think of any of this before I
Yeah.
said all that out loud. That
That's
was
the
dumb
only
on
thing
my
that makes
part.
sense.
Um,
She has a
can
big
I
chip on her shoulder.
can I tell you something funny that I did once? It was in the
Yes.
recent past. One of my friends, it ties to Donald Trump and not Sarah Lucina, but one of my friends
Well,
like
they're paired together forever.
yeah, you're
Kari,
right.
so.
My bad. One of my friends, like, this guy she had been seeing was like rude to her, something like that. And I was like, give me his number. And so I text him saying, thank you for your $100 weekly donation to Donald J. Trump's
Amazing.
2024 presidential campaign election. Um, some other probably like MAGA pun of just like, thank you for helping us make America great again.
Yeah.
And so this person replies, either stop, no, they replied cancel, which was perfect
Yeah.
because I was like, sorry, we don't believe in cancel culture. if you
Amazing.
if you would like to stop your donation, please see our website. And I like sent the link to the website, and then this person called me and I was like, hello, this is Sandra for Donald J. Trump's
Oh my
2024
God.
presidential election campaign.
That is hilarious.
And he just hung up. And so I blocked the number.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Anyway,
I love that.
if you're that person, I'm not sorry for what I
No.
did, because I was actually so proud of when he said like the cancel thing, and I was like,
That's
sorry,
the
we don't believe in
perfect.
cancel culture.
Yeah, he really set you up for that one.
Anyway, okay, so yeah, maybe that's it. Um, I don't know. To me, it doesn't feel like I feel like Survivor Sarah and Challenge Sarah are two very different competitors. And like, okay, that's cool. We've seen you a lot in Survivor. Maybe you're taking a new approach to the challenge. Um, it just is like it's almost like too stark of a difference for me, and that
Yeah.
it feels just a little put on.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need that from her, especially because like I feel like on the challenge, especially, the people with the attitudes don't tend to be the ones who can like potentially win it all. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
the ones who like keep getting slighted, maybe thrown in. Like Justine's been what her like third elimination this week. Like if she
Yeah.
came in with an attitude, I'd understand it. I'm sick of you being
Yeah.
in eliminations too. So I don't know. I'm just very confused by Sarah Lucina, the challenger's presence, especially in confessionals.
Yeah, her confessionals are like over the top assholey, and I'm like, did they like tell you to act like this? Like, I just like
Yeah.
keep it, just keep it.
Yeah. After that, we cut to Tyson, who's like, listen, I'm not advocating for anybody to put me in or anything, but if you're going to put me in, like, I'm going to come back, I'm going to shake your hand and say, nice try, good move. And if you're going to take things so personally, maybe you shouldn't play games.
Right.
Which,
That was my favorite. Yes, just don't play games.
mm-hmm. Which I feel like we've experienced like quite a bit in terms of like playing online games and stuff,
Oh my
how
god.
personally people take it.
Stay
It's
out of my
like
fucking DMs. That's all I have to say.
someone's got to get voted out.
Right. Right.
It happens.
If I'm playing an online game and you vote me out, like I don't need a DM about it. I'm good. Like you gave me 4 hours back. I'm good. We don't need to hash it out. I'm
Yeah.
good. It's all
Oh,
good.
I either want to be first out or like the winner. No in between.
Yes. Yeah. Don't put me in jury. Like I'm good. I'm good. Please, I promise you,
Oh,
I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
100% make me be the last pre-juror than the first
Yeah.
juror.
Please.
People who are like,
Please.
oh yes, I made jury. Like, nah, dog. I don't want to sit here now for the whole thing. Like,
No.
if I'm at this point, I usually like once I make jury, I'm like, okay, now I need to like really try because if I have to sit here for 2 hours and watch this because I get
Yes.
voted out,
Yes.
it's bad news.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm with you. 100% with you. That was another
And
lifetime.
yeah, RIP.
Yeah.
Pour one out.
Hmm.
After Tyson, Ben checks in with us and is like, why is Tyson doing what he's doing? Do you expect me to just come crawling back to it? Shut up, Ben. I feel
Literally,
like I
Ben.
have like the level of Sarah disdain you have. I have it, I think, more for Ben than I do Sarah. Not that I don't like, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not team Sarah by any means, but like every
Mhm.
time Ben talks, I just am like, shut up, Ben.
Yeah, Ben. I hate Sarah. I mean, I hate Ben just as much as I hate Sarah. But I just have. I can feel like I have more fuel for my hatred for Sarah because she's so out there. Ben is just like an idiot, and he didn't deserve to win Survivor. A twist got him the win. He literally quit on Winners at War to let Sarah go further. Like this guy's a loser. He's a loser. Sorry, you're a fucking loser, Ben. Tyson doesn't give a shit about you. You're the one that gives a shit about him. And you're like, oh, what am I going to come crawling back to Tyson? Tyson doesn't give a fuck, actually, okay? This wasn't even about you. It was about Sarah going in. Why are you making it
Yeah.
about you?
I
Win
don't know,
something. How about that? Win something. You're talking a lot of game for someone who hasn't won shit.
I think it's just like my instant repulsion of like cowboy hats.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
So get a new hat or no hat, whatever. I can't.
After this is I don't even know what I don't remember what David said because all I wrote was what the fuck is this confessional of David Alexander on her screen. This is
As
where I
soon-
got into like, oh, this is gonna be a weird episode, isn't it?
Yes. As soon as I saw a confessional of David out of literally nowhere, I was like, all right, I guess something's happening with David this episode. And then he's like, you know, the Lions are shooting at each other, so I'm in a good place. And I'm like, you're not winning this game, dude. You have to know you're not winning this game. Like, please, spare us from this guise of strategy you're trying to give us.
Yeah, I just was like, what is going on right now? This is confusing. I don't understand. So I figured something was up with him, which
Yeah.
clearly it was. After we have Cash and Sarah talking, and last week, Yumi and Josie were like, yo, Cash came out of this episode probably in the best spot of what's
Mm-hmm.
happened. And I think this move here like greatly decreases my opinion from last week. And I
I
don't know how
wanted to
you
ask
feel.
you a question because I don't know if it's that I don't remember it going that way, but I remember the women of the house really pushing for Sarah and Leo because the women didn't want to be partners with Leo because of all the shit Sarah was talking about him. So
Uh-huh.
wasn't it Cash who wanted to put Sarah and Leo in because the women didn't want Leo as partners?
Yes.
Okay, so this is just bullshit that she's feeding then.
I guess, or I don't know, she's trying to protect herself from
Yeah.
Sarah. Does she think that Sarah is more likely to win with Ben than Tyson is with Kira? Is that why she's like having this
She's trying to do some
conversation?
damage control.
It
But
just
I was like, I
seems
don't think that's what
unnecessary.
happened.
No.
Right.
And
Okay. I thought
we
maybe I was
didn't
crazy.
hear, no. And we didn't hear at all that, like, oh, Sarah gets close to people and then throws them in.
No.
When did Tyson say that? Given, like, he could have said it, but
All
I
Tyson
just
said
don't
was like they
know.
voted me out. Ben and Sarah voted me out once, and when I was at war, I came back and they voted me right out again. Like that's basically all he's really been saying, and that he doesn't trust them.
Which, side note, I don't remember that happening at all. And it's not that I don't believe that it happened. I just don't remember it. Every time I hear it, I'm like, I thought Wendell came back. No, Wendell
No,
came close to coming back. Natalie Anderson came back.
she came
Didn't
back the
she?
second time. There were
There
two.
was a first time?
Yeah, Tyson came back the first time.
Bro.
Yeah,
I don't
Tyson
remember
beat
it.
I think Boston Rob to come back the first time, and then
Okay.
he got voted out very soon after. And I don't know that it was like I don't remember really if it was spearheaded by Sarah and Ben, but it was like Tony's alliance that
Okay.
took him out. Obviously, they like ran basically the whole game.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I just thought that this was a weird move by Cash because, like, in my opinion, you and Tyson made this move together. So, you going to Sarah and saying this to her, you've already damaged your relationship with Sarah,
Yeah,
regardless of
stick with
what you
Tyson.
say. Even if she fully forgives you, it's not going to be as wholesome as it was like 24 hours earlier.
Hmm.
But instead of just keeping your mouth shut and being like, or at least like trying to do some damage control, to throw Tyson under the bus in the process, that's
Yeah.
two like very strong players that you have now damaged your relationship with if Sarah goes back and tells Tyson. Or if
Yes.
Sarah tells anyone and they tell Tyson. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
why are you doing that? And especially like Cash politely, you are if you are the least likely to win a challenge out of Tyson, Sarah, and herself. So you've now given two people, or you've doubled the people who have now have reasoning to throw you in. Like,
Yep.
why would you do that? I thought that was so dumb on her part. And like last week, I'm like, oh hell yeah, Cash, let's go, like maneuvering this game. And then she's sitting there crying in front of Sarah, and I'm like, what are you saying? Why are you saying this? Why?
Yeah, we actually, so quick plug, we had Queen Aza on our Big Brother podcast yesterday, which was amazing getting a chance to talk to her. And we did talk a little bit about the challenge, but she said something related to Big Brother that I think relates really well here. She said, you pick a ship, you're going down with the ship. My camera froze. I'll be right back in 2 seconds, but I will finish my statement with my frozen camera. She said, if you have picked a ship, like stick with the ship. Don't just if the ship is sinking, like you should still stick with that ship. You shouldn't jump to the other ship because it. And I think she's right because in this case, like you were on Tyson's ship, so stick with it. He's gonna win challenges. He can consider you as an ally. Whatever. Like there's always a chance for the tides to change here, but like don't go running and scurrying over to Sarah, who has no loyalty to you really at all. And now you're exactly what you said. You're pissing off Tyson, which means you'll probably piss off Angela and Angela's allies too. And there's really no purpose for you to get involved in this way. Let them shoot at each other. Just stay out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think that her and Sarah had a bit more of like a personal connection prior to them throwing Sarah in. But I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me in the idea of like, why are you just doubling your enemies? Like, even if you have this personal connection, if there's anyone who should understand that this is a game, it should be Sarah, given, like, her reaction didn't really say that, but I don't know, I just felt this weird, like, why unnecessarily throw Tyson under the bus there because of how strong a competitor he is? Like, if it was, like, I don't know, Enzo or Leo or someone, I could understand you giving that information because it's like, how likely are they to win a daily elimination to then put you in? But, like, Tyson's won, like, 50% of these challenges. So it didn't seem like the brightest move to me, but we'll see how it pans out for her because it doesn't seem like a lot came from that conversation today, but as we've seen, the challenge has been pretty decent at providing us the foreshadowing of like, oh, we're showing you the scene for a reason. So I don't know. We will see. We will see. But then after that, we have like a David and Enzo scene, which like I politely could not care less about. Um, I even wrote in my notes like, why is David on my TV so much for any of this episode? But yeah, there was a lot of just like, I want to win this for my family. We need to stay loyal, like just win something. And I don't know, it just was like interesting because I know that they're both Big Brother people, and I would need Katie to tell me if they were on the same season. I think that they were both on All Stars together, so they definitely have a prior connection. But to me, like the David Enzo alliance doesn't really have the intimidation factor of like Survivor Strong. So Katie is having some technical difficulties, but she did say that they were on the same All Star season. So look, I listen, I pay attention, I got you guys. But after this, we jump into the daily challenge, which is called containment. And so here's my explanation of this. There was like a lot, it seemed like there was a lot more going on than we actually saw as they were partaking in the challenge. So here's my best, because as you listeners who are here every week with us know, Katie and I are not the best at listening to these instructions. So your pair goes, you have to run and jump off of a platform into the water. You swim over to your container. So think of it as like a very wide angle V, and the containers are hanging 25 feet in the air. So you have to climb up your ladder. Your partner is like, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 yards away, climbing up their ladder. On top of your container, there are symbols. And in addition to that, inside the container, there are symbols. And so you have to count up these symbols because these symbols are then going to be used in a math problem a little bit later. So you go on top of the container and then you go down into the container to get the symbols, and you have to go back up, I believe. And from the top of the container, there's a rope swing, and you have to like rope swing onto this floating square platform. It maybe was like 3 to 4 yards away. Like, I do think that anyone of any height, any athleticism could have done this rope swing, but I think it's more just intimidating the fact like you're rope swinging 25 feet above the water, and if you fall, that could hurt. So once you rope swing to that square platform, there was this little like it looked like a popsicle, but this little like popsicle thing that you and your teammate had to take out of the box, which almost served no purpose in my opinion. Like, because once you got your little popsicle thing, you jumped off the square platform into the water, you swam over to shore, you put your little popsicle thing into this board, and then there was like a key with like what these symbols and how many there were and the number they represented were up there, and you had to like do some math, and once you did the math, they gave you a 4-digit code, and once you did the 4-digit code, you would check it, and if you got it right, little like pyrotechnic firework things would go off on the side. So to me, Katie, there was like a lot of shit that happened in that challenge that was just kind of not fun to view, or just like seemed like little details. Like I was explaining the popsicle thing they took out of the square and they had to like
Yes.
plug that into the board. Like what was that? What was
I
that?
don't. This challenge was very weird. I felt like I didn't understand. Like, did the symbols have different numbers associated with them, and that's how they did the math? Like, I didn't understand how the symbols tied into the math. I couldn't see all the symbols. I didn't really know what was happening. People were like jumping and swinging into the water, but I didn't really know like did they all have to like remember their own symbols, and then it was very confusing.
I think what it was like, so if we were partners, you had to remember your symbols from your container. I had to remember my symbols from my container. When we got to the board, like, so let's say the black skull and crossbones, I had two, you had one. Okay, that's a three. And then I think it said like the black skull and crossbones
Equals like whatever.
times like seven. So we would
Mm.
do 3 times 7. So there was like some emphasis on like the memorization part of it, but it there was a lot that was going on in this. There was but it did have a little bit of everything except maybe
Yeah.
running. So we had math, we had water, we had heights, we had some athleticism just in general. So it had a few different components. It wasn't the best challenge to watch on TV, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I did think that this is a challenge. And as we saw, Desi and David are winners, that it could produce any team winning. Like there isn't necessarily one team that when they explain this challenge, I'm like, oh, Tyson and Kira have this in the bag. Or
Right.
Desi and David have, you know what I mean? Like there wasn't like the running, I think, really reduces some people's opportunities to win, or swimming reduces some people's opportunity. So I felt like this was an equal chance for anyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Agreed.
I wish Josie is here for this next part because I have a bone to pick.
Was it with Leo?
Leo's here. Like, I'm on the good side. I'm on Sarah and Ben's side. And y'all were defending this cat literally last
Yeah.
week, and he's on your greatest challenge enemy's side. What do you have to say on behalf of Josie and you and
Well,
Leo?
listen. Okay, I wasn't saying I wanted Leo to win or that I'm rooting for him to win. I'm just saying he didn't seem as bad of a partner as everybody was making him out to be. Like, yeah, he had one like shitty thing, but then he did really well in the elimination. And that makes me feel like I understand why he would be on Sarah's side, because he did get thrown into the elimination with her, because he was, he won the elimination for her, really. He's the reason that they won. And he was her partner. And he was saying Tyson is like an uncle. What did he say? An uncle or a brother, an older brother to him or something.
Like,
So
yeah.
he felt betrayed by his family, why ever he thought that Tyson felt like family to him. I don't know, but like, I get it. I don't agree with it, but I understand where he's coming from. He was collateral damage. I was just defending really his capabilities on the challenge, because he didn't seem as bad as everybody was making him out to be.
No, maybe. I know that he like struggled a little bit with this one.
Yeah, but he ended up pulling it out. He did better than Enzo.
Yeah. No,
The
true.
meow meow.
I'm not disagreeing. That's why I mix those two up. How do you have two different, like, I don't know, late 30s, early 40s men who are both strangely associated with cats in their personality? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand how they found these people, but whatever. We get into the competition, and I can't remember. Oh, Angela and Dominic went first. They did pretty
Yes.
well. So then next we have Sarah and Ben, and they complete everything. They go up, they do the math. The math is wrong. They go back up, and Sarah's all like huffing and puffing in her confessional, like, I'm so mad, blah, blah. Ends up being her fault
Yeah,
because
be
she
mad at
missed.
yourself, bitch. Okay, for once, be mad at yourself. Take some
Yeah,
fucking accountability. You fucked it up.
right.
You fucked it up.
I did appreciate that we kind of like sped through some other runs that like didn't matter
Me too,
as
because
much.
like I don't need to. Yeah.
Right. However, I did write down a couple of highlights. So I was laughing when Kylan was like, "Do you need me to throw you in?" And to
She's like,
Catch,
don't
and
touch me
Cat's like,
ever.
"Don't touch me. Don't throw me in. Don't touch me. Don't touch me ever."
Yeah. Yeah.
Were they the two that yelled spring break as they ran?
Yes.
And which,
Yes.
at least they're having fun with it.
Yeah. Enjoy yourselves.
We got our weekly Kiki check-in. So before Danny went, and like this seemed like a reach to me. This seemed like
This was a
the
huge reach.
the people in the confessionals were like, please tie your wife into this challenge so we can keep this running bit going.
Well, so this is what I wanted to. We were talking about this yesterday when I was streaming a little bit. Me and my chat were chatting about this, and I want to know what you think. Like, did Danny bring up Kiki first, and then they were like, "Oh, we love that. Keep going with it," or were they like prompting him to talk about his wife? Like, why is this the edit that Danny's getting, and why do they think we care so much about Kiki? Like, we don't know Kiki. Where did this come from?
I know Kiki now.
I feel like I know Kiki better than I know Danny. Every confessional he has is talking about Kiki. Did they sit down one day and say like, okay, what's your Kiki reference for this? What's your Kiki? And then they just edited it in that way? Like, I don't understand why this is happening, or like, is this his idea to say like, oh, it'll be funny if I tie my wife into everything? Like, why?
I think it started off organically, and then it became like, okay, let's keep this going. Because otherwise, like, what does Danny have to say each episode? It's really like the only time we hear from Danny is when he's talking about his wife.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't they give him some kind of other... What's he thinking in the game? Who's his closest ally in the game? Like, does he want to stick with Survivor, or does he want to work with other people? Who does he trust? Like, I don't know anything about him at all. I know nothing about him. Nothing.
We know his wife's name.
Yeah, that's it.
No. I think that, like, if I recall the first time he referenced his wife, it was when they were talking about Shan.
Yes.
And his wife was like, stay away from her. She's bad news. And then they decide to be partners together. So that's why, to me, it makes sense, like, that started organically. And then from there, I bet you they just gave him, like, leading questions of, like...
Yeah. It just seems
Yeah,
so weird.
I mean... Yeah, I'm enjoying the running bit, so like now it's like, how are they going to tie her in? However, it is a little frustrating. Yeah, this week's was the first like stretch. Yeah. But you have a great point. It's just like, we don't know anything else about what Danny's doing.
Right.
So no, I don't know, but listen, it's my duty. I have to uphold this responsibility specifically for Tito, which is, sup, Kiki? Glad to have you back 6 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, no, shout out to you, Kiki. Kiki's on the show longer than a lot of people who are actually cast on the show, so good for her.
Yeah. And listen, Kiki, if you want to take me on a trip to Jamaica, let me know. It can help me prepare for the challenge as well.
Yes.
After we get Tyson and Kira, and Tyson's like, listen, there's a brain component, there's climbing, there's water. This is for me. But they don't win because Kira goes to do the rope swing part, and girl plummets. Like, she just slipped on the top of that container. Did not make the rope swing. She could not make it back up. We also know that Kira had been up the night before, just like throwing up, which that sucks. So
seems a little questionable. Like, is she okay? Like, is she like, we're in a pandemic? Everything good here?
It seems like she got diagnosed based off of conversations later in the episode when they're like, she's dehydrated. So I'm assuming that they tested her anyway. Plus, like, is vomiting really a COVID symptom?
I don't know. I feel like everything's a COVID symptom, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, maybe. But it doesn't exist anymore. The CDC said so. So we're fine.
Right.
So,
yeah, no, we're all good.
Tyson and Kira DQ. Sarah Lucina is like, that's karma, blah, blah, blah. And shut up, Sarah. So
shut up, dude. He's playing the game. Chill out. You're such an idiot. Hate people like that.
After this, we have Enzo and Justine, and we find out that Enzo struggles with like swinging over water, I guess, specifically. So
I think it's like jumping from the water jumping from something high into the water. But like, really, you're really gonna blow this for Justine? Like, what a douchebag.
Not even try.
After all that Justine has been through on this season, she's like worked her ass off. I think she's the strongest woman on the show at this point. Like, I'm really rooting for Justine. I think she's doing great. She's a total badass. Just to have like potentially get sent home because Enzo is a fucking baby, like that sucks. That sucks.
To bring back some classic challenge vernacular, Justine, more than anyone, has earned her stripes for me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm 100% rooting for her because like it's it's not even like a big storyline on the show either. Like she's been in, is this her third elimination? I think they referenced that. She definitely was in with David.
Yes, she was in with
Oh, and
David. She's in here, and she won a challenge. I don't know if this
and
is
she
her
won.
third.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's like her third like major thing, but
she won with Tyson, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, like I'm Team Justine. Take it home, girl.
Same.
But it sucks that Enzo like wouldn't even try because the thing before it is like Justine tried and she like had to swing back and pull herself back up. And
Right.
Enzo's just like, I don't know. And TJ was like, this is just child's play, Enzo, to
Right.
yelling at him. A quick side note, this was like to me a top tier TJ episode of the challenge.
Yeah.
We got, he wasn't like too involved in anything, but like he was involved enough, and we got like him laughing at shit, and we had him like talking shit at Enzo,
Yeah.
and um in the elimination, I even wrote this. I'm like, TJ's a little Jeff Probsty right now. Like he's like, come
Mm-hmm.
on, you're almost like keep going, you're almost there,
Yeah.
and
And you don't
I
usually
was
see that from TJ in elimination. He usually is
no,
like off to the side chilling.
yeah, and TJ's like in it, and we've said it earlier in the season, like TJ to me seems like he's truly enjoying this
Oh
season.
yeah. I agree. I
And
totally agree.
I feel like his performance in this episode alone like showcases that in the fact that like he seemed to care a lot about what was happening. Like he was like mad at Enzo. We got like some flashbacks of like TJ hates quitters TJ.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I wonder if it has to do with the fact that like he maybe underestimated what these like reality stars from another show would do in turn, because they've never been on the challenge before. Especially the Love Island people. Like I wouldn't think that the Love Island people would be like working their asses off the way they are.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just like really pleasantly surprised by the performance that some of these challengers are putting on. I don't know. Maybe he's just is tired of seeing the same fucking faces every season.
That was actually what I was going to say is I think that it could also help that it's a whole brand new fresh
Yeah.
cast and
And they're
like
taking it seriously.
yeah, absolutely. And he's just enjoying it. And I thought that if you feel like going back and watching this episode and watching it for TJ's involvement and just, he just seems like it was such a great performance from TJ this episode. And like, he is enjoying himself. So good for TJ because he's doing this year round right now too. And so
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're really like, I think it could be very easy to just kind of go into, like cruise control with this show. Let
Yeah.
me show up,
Totally.
um let me narrate as or like give you the rules as I need to and then step to the side and see what happens. And I'm just give TJ his Emmy. I have been saying this for a while.
Yes.
Like if Jeff Probst continuously gets nominated for one, if this season of the Challenge USA does not get him at least a nomination, we riot.
Yes. I totally agree. I totally agree. Maybe it will because it's on CBS and not on MTV. Maybe they'll take it a little more seriously.
That's what I was thinking. And then that's the other thing is like, oh, is TJ aware of this? Like, imagine, I don't know, your first career is like BMX professional rider, and then like you're 40 something and now have an Emmy. Like, how cool is that? Like,
Right?
he almost died too. Like,
Yeah, he's been
he had
seriously
a really
injured.
bad accident and everything. Like, give him his Emmy. God damn it.
Yes, he's more than earned it.
Yes.
More than earned it.
Anyway, Enzo and Justine get DQ'd because Enzo won't even try. Something worth noting that I think might have happened earlier is that Derek and Shannon went, and when Shannon was trying to go from the top of the container to the bottom, which was a risky maneuver, especially because like your shoes are wet. I was thinking about this. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you might slip, which she did, and she's like, oh no, my hamstring. And they cut to a Kayla confessional being like, challenge 101, you never admit when you're injured. So,
Is that challenge 101?
um, I feel like it's competition 101, at least, and maybe for, um, I don't know,
I don't
maybe
recall
like
anybody
competition.
ever saying, "Oh, you're injured. You need to can't say that." I'm like, "Wait, what?" People get injured all the time, and they don't keep it a secret.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be a little bit more for like this season where um did someone else like hurt themselves a little bit and I just can't remember. And they're like,
Well,
no,
this is
keep
the
it
second
quiet.
time where she said something, and she's like, everybody knows if they watch a challenge, like a layup," and we're like, "No, you use that wrong." And
Yeah, that's wrong.
now she's saying challenge 101. I'm like, "This isn't challenge 101.
Yeah.
It's
But
just not."
I feel like it happens more in like Survivor where it's like, oh, they can't help us. They're hurt. Like you don't want to
Yeah.
let people know how hurt you are and not as much as in the challenge. But so that happens, which does have some impact later in the episode. Then we get David and Desi going. And this part from David was bewildering to me where he's like, finally, I have a partner that like wants it, that's gonna fight. And it's like, are you
Bro.
blaming your partner for the
Yeah.
last 5 episodes?
This guy's like an absolute flop at every single thing that he does, and he has the nerve to blame his partners. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I was like, shut up right now. So, but they went really quick. And you know who I am, not to get too far ahead, but I'm so sad that Shannon is gone after this episode because her confessionals, especially this episode, were hilarious.
Yeah,
She's
she's
like,
good.
I'm looking at my invisible watch and it looks like they're going very fast. and
Yeah.
and she's like, hide your kids, hide your wife. Like, she is funny.
Yes.
I had my doubts about her. Just like, it was totally just based off of appearance because I'm like, who is this like little blonde girl gonna like hang out with and be friends with? And come to find out, like, she is so funny and
Yeah.
I really enjoy her. So bring her back. But anyway, yeah, she was like, yeah, they went real fast. So I was surprised watching this, but I knew that like, okay, they're either winning or they're getting eliminated. So in a way, I'm glad they won because I like Desi and I want to see more of Desi.
I like Desi too. I just never want to see David Alexander in a position of power because he has no clue, as exhibited by who they threw into the elimination. He just has
Yeah.
no clue what he's doing and how to play any game
Yeah.
whatsoever. No clue.
Yeah. I agree. And then we have Leo and who is Leo's partner? Kayla.
Kayla.
Yeah. So Leo was like standing at the edge of the platform before even jumping into water, and he's like, "All right, my secret's out. Like, I almost drowned when I was a kid," and so it took him a while. The whole group was chanting for him, and then they started chanting for him again when he had to do the rope swing part. And Leo was like TJ was like laughing at him, but then he congratulated him, and he's like, "I didn't think you'd do it, man." And again, just like more fun TJ shit. But
Yeah.
Leo managed to get it to happen, so they didn't come in last. And of the 2 teams that DQ'd, which was Enzo and Justine and Tyson and Kira, Enzo and Justine end up coming in last because Enzo didn't attempt the rope swing when both Tyson and Kira did.
Yep. Sucks to
And
suck,
then,
Enzo.
yeah. And then in our top spot is Desi and David. They were the #1 team.
Couldn't believe it. I was like, no way. This is not happening. This is not happening that David Alexander won 2 things this season.
I'm low-key enjoying it. Just because
I'm ready for
every single person that I've encountered about David Alexander has never had a positive thing to say about him.
There's
so
nothing.
To me, it's just funny. Like, I'm not enjoying it in like I'm rooting for this underdog type of way where it's more just like look at this guy. What is this? And I don't know, in a way I like it because I think so many people are expecting like Tyson and Angela to them or their partner to win every single challenge. And then here comes in fucking David Alexander and Desi being like, we just outmathed y'all. How's it going?
Right. Kind of embarrassing for everyone else, if I'm being honest. Just saying.
And I think that downplays Desi a bit because I think that she's like athletic and smart and
Totally. No, nothing against Desi at all. But it's like almost like if, to me, it's the same. She had the same chance as Tyson with a partner who was sick. Like, it's
yeah.
basically just having David as a partner. She was able to overcome.
Maybe how he got on is like, I don't know, he can do math, which like as a former high school math teacher and just, experiencing adults in general. And I feel like I hear more about math because I was a teacher when, like you go out to dinner, it's like, do the tip for us. How much does this cost or whatever? My boyfriend's mom, when we were talking about like them planning their family reunion, and Lavelle was just like, what's this times this? Okay, and then times this, and I'm just like rattling the math up. And she was like, stop using her as your calculator. I'm like, oh, it's like 40% of our relationship is like me doing calculations for him. So like I feel like I encounter people doing math maybe more than others just because people know that I can do math. So like David has a base level of intelligence that a lot of people don't, which is being able to multiply. That's the point I'm making here. Maybe he
Yeah.
can't
To be
social
fair, I don't think
strategy
I would be able
game.
to multiply how David. I was watching this. I was like, how does he know what whatever times 12 is? I don't know that.
If you need help, I can teach you. That's what I
Thank
did for
you.
a while. So,
Thank you.
I'm just very confused at my iPad right now that's not charging despite the fact that it's plugged in.
We've been having
Anyway,
nothing but technical problems today.
yeah,
The universe is out to get us.
technical problems. I'm having skin problems, which I never have. Like all the problems. Matt's got
Yeah.
COVID. We're just
Yeah.
full
It's
of
just
issues over
everything's
here.
working against
So
us.
if you're on the wrong side of the universe like we are, welcome.
Yeah. Welcome.
Sarah Lucina's not allowed. So
No.
yeah, we have our winners, which are Desi and David, and our losers are um, Enzo and Justine. So we get back to the house and we have the deliberation between the winning team and the losing team, and literally nothing came of this.
Literally nothing. Nothing. We saw them talking about like, should we take a shot at Tyson or Kylan? Nothing came of it at all.
To me, again, like I talked about this last week when Asa did the same thing, where it's like you're not taking ownership of the moves you like at least try. And I think that in this week it made a little bit more sense to me than maybe it did last week because like I think the likelihood of Justine having to go against another Love Island girl was pretty high. Where
Yeah.
I feel like Aza had a little bit more insulation both on like the men and women's side to like, hey, maybe this, maybe that. But either way, I don't like I'm not giving them any information. I'm gonna sit here and be quiet. Because the thing is, like, especially for Justine, if I'm Justine, I'm lobbying, like, look at what I've already done.
Yeah.
If I come back here, I've won 2 eliminations and I've won a daily challenge. Like, David, don't you want me as your partner? Didn't we
Right.
just win an elimination together? Like, don't you
Right.
want me coming back? So, like, let's figure out the best way for that to happen
Yeah.
because you're likely going to have to be my partner again. So, let's talk, and it's very easy in that same way for Justine to be like, and Desi, listen, you look out for me right now. If I'm back in that power place, because I've been there once before,
Yeah.
you're good with me. Like I want to see the a little bit more from like a little bit more James in these people. Like James week
Yeah.
1 kind of like lobbying for what he wanted. Give me a little bit more of that.
Yeah. I would like to see that as well. It felt like a lot, like nothing was happening here. It
Yeah.
was just like, okay, we won. I guess we'll do whatever we want. And like, it just felt like a weird, and that's part of why I wanted to rewatch the episode today, because I'm like, there must have been something that I missed with like how they landed on Derek and Shannon going in. But like, no, there really wasn't anything.
No, except for Shannon's injury, it seems.
Yeah, which is kind of fucked up.
Well, I think this like underlying narrative of you don't want a weak person as your partner, especially as the numbers are dwindling. Like if it's a running thing next week and Shannon's hamstring is fucked up,
Yeah.
I can understand from the male perspective of like not. I mean, even if it was female, if say it was a man whose hamstring was fucked up, like if Tyson's hamstring gets pulled, he's as much of a liability as Shannon's hamstring getting
Sure,
pulled. Like
sure.
so I can understand it from that, and I think that's kind of like why they let that one not be as like much of a topic of conversation, because it does make sense from that perspective, and that perspective has been pushed on us all season. Like last week,
Mm-hmm.
Leo's going in because we don't want him as a partner. Like now you're not going to want Shannon as a partner because she's got one leg.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's fair. I just think it's like kind of lame to put an injured person into elimination. It's basically like, I understand the reasoning behind it, but it just kind of is shitty.
Yeah. I mean, to fast forward to elimination, she like got through it. I was so
Yeah, I don't
impressed
think
with
her
her.
injury really impacted her much.
No,
in
if anything, it
elimination.
was their like lack of forward planning
Right.
is what impacted them.
Right.
But we'll get there in a second. So once Enzo and Justine leave, David and Desi kind of talk about their game plan. Seems like Desi wants to take the safest route in terms of not pissing people off that affect her, and David just wants to take big shots.
Yep. Yep.
Whose strategy did you appreciate more here?
I don't think this is the week to take big shots because I don't. Well, no, never mind. Because that's Justine is a powerhouse. I was just gonna say like Enzo's kind of a crapshoot. He was good at comps in Big Brother. He wasn't bad. He won a few. He's been okay here so far. Not the best, not the worst. Aside from what happened in this challenge, I don't know if this is the week I would have taken a big shot. Kind of similar to last week with Tyson going against Azah and Cinco. And again, nothing against Azah and Cinco. It's just Azah up against Sarah, it feels like that's an uneven match. And a Tyson or a Kyland against Enzo also feels like an uneven match that's going to bring more trouble for you when they come back in the house. And Tyson even said as much, like, send me in, I'm going to come back, and I have no problem being petty as fuck and throwing my game away to come after you. Like, I don't need to win this game.
Yeah, which I fucking loved when he was like,
yeah,
I don't need to win anymore. As long as Sarah and Ben don't, I've won.
I love that from him so much. Tyson is quickly climbing up the ladder of like one of my favorite reality personalities ever. He's great on the show, and he gives a great confessional and just great commentary. He's great. He's great.
No, absolutely. There was something where I can't remember where it was in the show that he like in his confessional he kind of like broke like an SNL break where Tyson always like deadpan and serious and but not serious, like it's his sense of humor but it's very dry, and he made a comment and then it was during the elimination when Shannon was able to take the tires up and bring them over the pole, and he's like, Shannon's even like able to do this, which proves short people can do things too. And then he just started laughing, which like you don't see from Tyson often, like him like cracking up at his own jokes. But that, despite the fact that, listen, Tyson, yeah, short people can do things too. I'm team short and Shannon with this one, but that definitely made me laugh. So.
That was great. Tyson. There's a video that Tyson has been reposting. I follow him on Twitter, and I guess he was at like an Arizona Diamondbacks game or something. And they have a challenge that they do there of like trying to catch an Oreo in your mouth when you put it on your forehead. Like either like roll it down your face and eat it. And he literally like flipped it up 2 or 3 times and then was able to catch it in his mouth. And the guy was like, never seen anybody take this strategy and actually be able to do it before. I'm like, what can this guy not do? What can he not do? Nothing. The answer is nothing. Tyson can do anything. Tyson can do anything.
So
what is he bad at? I want to know.
winning Survivor the first 3 times he played? Did it
Yeah,
take
he
Phyllis
actually
4
made like an
times?
infamously dumb move in Heroes versus Villains that got his own ass voted out that week. Or no, it got Boston Rob voted out, I think. Whatever. It's been a while, but yeah. Yeah, that was rough.
No, Tyson can do a lot. He's a good TV personality, and I mean, especially if you take it from the perspective of like, I will throw my game to ruin theirs. Give me the petty, give me
I
the
love it.
chaos.
I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So after we get Sarah and Kayla talking, which again, this is weird to me because last week Kayla's approaching Tyson and is the one telling Tyson like, "Yo, Ben's throwing your name around,"
Right.
and now Kayla and Sarah are all buddy buddy. Um, I want these people who are playing both sides to get caught. I want that drama.
Me too.
So
I'm ready for
Kayla,
it.
Cash, let's do this.
Yeah.
But Kayla is like, yeah, I want to put in Tyson and Kira because like Kira's not healthy. We can get rid of her. But that again, like, I don't know. That strategy to me doesn't exactly make sense with like the strategy that a lot of other people are playing. Because if I'm a woman and there's another woman or
Yeah,
two
I want to
women,
keep the hurt woman in because
right?
that gives me a better shot.
Exactly. Versus like if I'm David, then like okay, it makes sense. Like I don't want Kira as my partner. I don't want if she like can't hold water down. I don't want Shannon with as my partner if she only has one leg. Like
Sure.
for Kayla to be lobbying for that just so it's not her. I in a way I get it because she's with the guy that the women are saying the same shit about. So like
Yeah.
I guess I get it a little bit more when I think about it that way, but still it's like isn't there another option? Like, I don't know.
Right. Why were I mean, I guess from the Big Brother like, but it doesn't matter because David still put a Big Brother person in. So why aren't you taking the shot at Kyland?
Yeah.
Kyland and Cash, take the shot. Cash seems very well connected, and Kyland is winning. So take the shot. I know Desi
Yeah.
eventually was like, I don't want the drama in my game right now, but like, I don't think that would have caused as many waves as sending in Tyson. That would have been an easy
No.
big shot to take that wouldn't have caused drama because the only Big Brother people that are left don't really give a shit. Kyland already betrayed the Big Brother people, so why do they care?
Right, absolutely. Yeah. Unless like Desi has relationships that we don't know about.
This is the thing I feel like we need more. I need to understand the social structure of this house a little bit more and who's working with who because right now I have no idea. We do not get enough. Like, is David even in with the Big Brother people? I don't know. Is Enzo in with the Big Brother people? I don't know. Are they all trying to like not put Big Brother in? I don't know. We don't really. We saw the Big Brother 23 of it all, but like now that Xavier's gone, like I feel like we're not talking Big Brother at all. It's like almost like that was the end of it. But we still have Alyssa, we have Derek up until this end of this episode. We have Enzo, we have David, we have Angela, we have a number. Kyland, we still have six Big Brother people left in the house. Are they working together?
I have no idea.
I would like to know.
Here's my idea though. Listen, you want to push Paramount Plus as a streaming service? Give us an extra 30 minutes
Yes.
every week of
Yes.
content from what like we don't get in that episode but is relevant to that week's episode.
Please. Please.
Give us social content, social and strategy content. Nothing physically based, nothing like let us see people interacting because I mean, given I'm already paying for Paramount Plus, but like
Same. Thanks, Big
I
Brother.
yeah, like put that on there, please. Like
Please.
I would love that. So that's my idea. CBS again, my Venmo is KGD26. Just slide the money this way for that. I don't even need a lot. I just move those. So if you want
Yeah.
to cover like the moving costs, that would be great. So we can negotiate.
Right. I also feel like in the same vein, I don't know who Desi's working with either. Is she in with anybody on Survivor?
I don't know.
I don't
We've
see her
heard
talking
Dominic
to
say
any-
like that's my Survivor sister, but is Dominic
Never
on
seen them
like
talk to each other.
Sarah and Ben's side? We even heard Ben say like, "Oh, Desi and I have worked together before." Where on your
When?
season or in the challenge? Like
They
when
were
you
never even on the same tribe together.
were they partnered up in the challenge earlier? I don't know. I should really
I
keep
have no
like
idea.
a running list of the partners going. But
That's
I'll
my
need
biggest and probably only complaint about this show is that I really don't know
Yeah.
what's going on in terms of alliance structure, in terms of strategy, in terms of social relationships and hierarchy. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. There's so many people left in this house, and I have no idea who has connections with who other than Angela and Tyson and Alyssa and Derek, which
Right.
no more.
I guess like the other side of that though is because we don't know, they can really make every single week seem like a blind side or like something
Yeah.
dramatic because it's like the information that they let us in on that week is really all we have to go on. And so
And I
if
don't
they
want
want to
that.
frame it in a way, no, I don't want that, but at the same time, like that makes good television.
Yeah.
So I could see why they're doing it. However, I am far more on the side of give me that extra 30 minutes a week. I will pay to watch it.
Me too.
There has to be stuff going on in there. I want to see the fun. I want to see the nights out. Like, we're not getting the nights out.
Right. We're not really getting anything in the house at all. Like in their sleeping situation, usually, like people bunk up or work together based on their rooms or their bunk situation. No idea what the bunk situation is. It seems like it's one big open area.
Yeah,
Like I
I
don't
think
know
it is.
anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, we need more. Less MTV The Challenge, more CBS The Challenge, please.
Yes.
Give us those, make those episodes an hour. I was thinking about this during the week. I'm like, do I like this so much because I don't have an oversaturation of information? Where how many of the last seasons of MTV The Challenge, there's been times where it's like, it's only an hour episode and we're like, what the fuck, it's only an hour? But then there's times where it's the hour and a half episode and it's like, this could have been an email.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
finding that balance, and that's what I'm wondering is like, am I enjoying this because it is the 43 minutes a week and it does leave us like more room to question things and have these conversations. I don't know. I think about the challenge a lot. So anyway,
Understandable.
after the Sarah and Kayla conversation, we do get Derek and Shannon, and this part made me laugh a little bit where Derek's like, listen, let's go to the gym, put your workout stuff on, and we'll stretch and like make it look like we're about to work out. And Shannon's like, yeah, I'll just like throw some sass at some people. No one's
Yeah.
gonna want to deal with this. They'll think I'm fine. What injury?
Right.
No
Yeah, this is
injuries whatsoever.
good strategy. I don't know if they actually did it, but I kind of like that from them.
Yeah, I like how Derek's like, that's something that I would do. I would be like, let's put on a facade that this is happening. Let's go like put you on the bike because that is notoriously like you can make it the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I had physical therapy, you always started off with like 10 minutes on the bike. Like everyone can do it no matter their injury. So I was definitely entertained by that. And then we get the king pin and queen pin strategizing, the old Tangela, the Tyson Angela alliance here. This is where Tyson says he would tank his game to make sure Sarah and Ben don't win, and Angela thinks it's either going to be Derek and Shannon or Kayla and Leah, but she's leaning a bit more Derek and Shannon based off of things she had heard, which, good job, Angela, you did predict it correct.
Yep.
David and Desi put in Derek and Shannon.
Yep.
And at the elimination, we get this confessional from Melissa being like, oh, what a bad move. Or like, you're so scary, David. Ooh.
Yeah, great job.
You went against the Big Brother Alliance, which like Alyssa, you did first. And like Derek's been having David's back, which has he? Because like Derek has never been in power. I don't know.
Right.
It was a weird confessional. I get her point, but like the way she was trying to make it, she could have easily been like, yo, there's still 6 of us and we're all still low-key working with each other, and for you to take this shot, why? But
she
I don't
basically
think
was trying to say like, this is a dumb move. You put in a Big Brother person and someone who's hurt, like, way to go, you're doing great. Like, what a cop out, essentially.
But I don't really think it was David's cop out as much as it was Desi's cop out, because Desi brought them up first. She was like,
yeah, but I feel like
Derek
David
and
could have
Shannon
really
could go.
pushed a little bit to be like, no, we got to take a strong guy out. Like, this is the time.
Okay, Katie, revisit the sentence you just said.
Well, I know
you want David Alexander to
well, this
come
is
in
why, right?
with
I
some
understand.
strategy.
I understand, but I think this is why Alyssa's like, really, dude? Because like, you could have made a move here, but you didn't make a move here, which is why David Alexander will always be a flop. There's no other way to describe this man. He is a flop. Even if he wins a challenge, he flops. Like, he sucks. He sucks. He sucks. He's bad at, as Tyson said, you shouldn't play any games anymore. Like, this guy should not play games. Just don't play games. You suck.
To me, he's like a step up from Josh Martinez because he doesn't annoy me. Where
Oh, I would take Josh Martinez 8,000 times over David Alexander.
Oh, I'm the opposite. I just think
Oh.
Josh Martinez is such a whiny baby where like David Alexander exists and he's thrown us a couple of curveballs that we haven't expected. Like arguably the biggest upset so far in this season is Justine and David getting Xavier and Shan out. Like who expected that? No one. And then for him to win a daily challenge, like I don't know. To me, like Josh doesn't really do things like that. He just bitches. And at least like David is in the background for nearly everything except for these like random ass times where he actually has like some impact that like no one would expect.
It's fair. That's fair. I'll still take Josh though. At least Josh can win Big Brother. David doesn't even know how to play Big Brother.
Listen, I didn't watch that season. But from what I understand, didn't he win because like they didn't want the other person he was against to win?
Listen, he still won. It's a win.
Strategy. Didn't he go around banging pots and pans? Bro, I cannot stand humans like him. Nah.
Whenever I see that clip of him in a tutu banging pots and pans going da 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 da, it makes me laugh so hard. I don't know why, and I'm just like, God, this guy's so annoying, but it's just so funny to me. I prefer an explosive personality because they make better TV than like a flop.
I get that.
So that's why I prefer Josh Martinez. Give me the drama and the chaos.
Yeah, you're like good at hate watching people, like appreciating people. Yeah, you're good at like hate appreciating people where I feel like I take them more personally and I'm like, fuck this guy. If I have to deal with this guy, I would be miserable. Like I like kind of put myself more in the shoes of like the actual experience where like you are a better TV viewer and taking it for like what's happening in that moment to other people. And I just like personalize it more where I'm like, no, thank you. Could not deal with this.
Yeah, I love a human disaster on my television. So like give me Josh Martinez every day. Just don't give me Fessy. That he's one that I can't. Like he's just a pure hate. Like he's not fun to watch. He's just I hate him. He was fun to watch on Big Brother because he was so dumb, but he is awful on the challenge. So like never again. I never need to see Fessy again in my life.
My good about Josh that is now probably negative because like they're friends now was he was such an easy target for Devin that like he just made Devin seem even funnier than I already think Devin is. But they're like bros now. So anyway, but
I was
enough
watching.
Josh.
Oh, I was gonna say one more thing over.
Go ahead,
because Josh.
David wants to put his opinion in too. He said he prefers Fessy over Josh. Don't come for me, Katie. Would you like to come for David?
No, David, I won't come for you. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm sorry that is yours, though. I completely disagree. Fessy is awful. He's awful. But I was watching a video. I think it's like an official MTV challenge video of like the top fights at reunions, like challenge reunions, and the number one fight was in the list, which I don't know if I agree with this being the number one fight at a reunion, was Josh going after Pauly, which got Pauly up and dancing, and then Bananas was like that face that he made, the iconic like weirdo dancing move from Pauly. But Josh, I will say, ate Pauly the fuck up in that fight. He ate him up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to root for Josh. Like, you know what? This guy is annoying as hell, but like he ate up Pauly Calafiore in that fight. And he was like, left only the bank, bitch, because I won Big Brother. And I was just like, you know what? I like it. I like what you're giving me here.
There was
riding your girlfriend's coattails. And that's exactly what Pauly does. So I'm like, you know what? Josh is right.
There's a Gamer Vev post on Instagram, and I think it was like about who wins this like upcoming season of the MTV challenge, and Pauly was like, oh, do you guys miss me yet? And there was like literally hundreds of people who literally just wrote no. Like, nah, dog, I don't honestly,
no,
I don't give a fuck who wins. I don't need you on my TV anymore. I think I would take Cara Maria back at this point.
I would take Pauly over Cara Maria.
She needed a break. I would test her out for a season and see how it is. but I don't want her with Paulie. I actually wouldn't mind Paulie coming back either, to be honest, but I don't want them together.
I don't want to see Cara Maria ever again on anything. I cannot. I've never been a Cara Maria fan. I can't stand her. She is in her Joker era along with Paulie, and she's just like a menace on social media to people. She just has no self awareness at all, and I can't stand her. I cannot stand her. Keep her off forever. I will never. If she's on the season, I'm not watching it.
She's had like the worst arc of.
She's horrible.
Not the worst, but she's had a bad arc. Like you talk about, and I saw a TikTok of MTV put out of CT where it's like he's sitting in a chair like this. And he's like, "Hi, I'm CT from the challenge," and then they showed him from like day one to. They definitely skipped over his dad bod days, but they put in just like an evolution of like CT being hot and shirtless, which given.
Why would they skip over his dad bod days? That's like the primary CT over the last decade is dad bod CT.
No, the last season because okay, so he won the last season.
Last season was an anomaly.
And then the season before that, he was in dad bod shape. And then when he came back this past season, he was like, or he got in shape. He was jacked. He was looking like he was maybe 29 at most. And he's like 41. And he's like, listen, I couldn't be deceptive anymore with the dad bod. So I figured I would just get in shape and kick everybody's ass. And, but I personally think CT is one of the best character artists in all of television, in the history of television, given we've had the privilege of having this man on our TV for 20 years and he's done some shitty stuff. He's gone through it with like personal life and he's like come out on the other end just being like what seems to be a good person, all this. But to me, like someone who had the same opportunity to have like a really good arc is Cara Maria, and she like did the opposite. She went from like
trash.
The underdog that you could root for because like everybody bullied her and she had it hard at the beginning. Like people were shit to her.
Annoying.
I'm not disagreeing. I am not disagreeing, but she like grew into a place of like having power within the challenge, and instead of like using it for good, she just became people who like made her miserable. She was worse than them. So I'm not defending Cara Maria. I'm just saying that she like it sucks the way that she decided to go because she could have really been like a positive influence, I think, in the challenge. But I mean, she is where she is. But
she's like emotionally stunted. Remember that time Amanda told her she wished her horse died? I know that's horrible, and I don't wish any horse to die, but that was fucking hilarious. I'm sorry.
Okay, so sorry. Ashley did an AMA on Reddit. And one of the questions was, what does Amanda think of you and Cara Maria being friends? And she goes, oh, she asked me if I've fucked Horse Girl yet or something like that. Like basically
oh my God.
Just like come straight for Cara's throat via Ashley. Like it's Amanda doesn't hold back. I love Amanda.
She's another one that makes good TV.
Oh, she is phenomenal.
Love her or hate her, she's great TV. Yeah.
Yeah. Amanda and Ashley, both of them are in the same boat, like great television. So anyway, back to CBS's challenge.
Right.
You know, it's our weekly like here's a 10-minute spiel about MTV's The Challenge. But people need to be informed. They need to be informed. You need to know
it's not totally off topic.
It's hard to appreciate something if you don't know its roots.
Right. So sorry again about my camera.
Oh, it's fine. You look very angry right now. So
I do. I'm giving Sarah Lucina realness in this Frozen. I might just leave it like this, I guess, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Last time I left and I couldn't come back. Yeah, we're near the end.
Yeah, we're near the end. We're good. So if you're watching the video of this, Katie is not as angry as she appears in this still frame.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Okay, so the elimination, we don't find out the name of it because we get a little like trickaroo here. TJ explains like, okay, there are 60 tires opposite of you. You have to take a tire, bring it over to your side, and stack these 60 tires. The first team that does that wins. And it's like, okay, people are thinking that Justine and Enzo have the leg up because They are literally a leg up in comparison to Shannon, who has a bad hamstring. But as they're about to like ready, set, go, and it was funny because TJ got Derek to like false start. Derek like falls off the thing
Oh,
and he's
that
like,
was
"What are you
funny.
doing?" Yeah. Oh, actually, let me backtrack. When he was explaining the rules, TJ, he's like, "There were rope swings in this, but we took it out." I asked
Yeah.
him, TJ, you had such a good episode. I love it. So anyway, as they're about to start, like Derek kind of like false starts. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Just kidding. Did you think that I would only let you carry tires? We're gonna add in this extra element, which is each of you has to spell a word backwards, and if you spell it incorrectly, then the other team has 5 less tires that they have to carry." So everyone spells their word correctly except for Justine. Justine spells cynical incorrectly. So um, that means that Derek and Shannon have 5 less tires to carry over than Enzo and Justine do. So that is the premise of it. Katie's back and not angry. So at the point of Justine spelling something wrong, did you think that the 5 tire advantage would be enough for Shannon and Derek to maybe win this, given
Um,
Shannon's bad hamstring?
5 tires feels like a lot and also not a lot at the same time.
It's basically 3
It's
trips
like,
because you can only take
yeah,
one at a time.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I guess. I guess that would have been enough for Derek and Shannon to have a steady lead.
yeah, especially with Shannon's leg and Shannon's
Yeah,
height. That's the other thing.
true.
Shannon had a disadvantage of being short, as Tyson let us know.
Yes.
So after we have our spelling Ebe, which is what the event was called because they had to spell words
Which was
backwards.
so
So
weird and funny, kind of. I
yeah,
was like, spelling
TJ
Eve?
liked it.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So we have um, Enzo and Justine have to bring 60 tires from one side to the other. Derek and Shannon only have to bring 55. And um, things were like pretty close the whole way through, but the main difference in this performance was the way that the tires were stacked. So Enzo and Justine
Smart by
have,
them, by the way.
yeah, they decide to have many small stacks. So their circular platform, they basically filled up as much as this, of the surface area as they could with stacks, where Derek and Shannon, they like made tall stacks very quickly. And they did that at the front of their podium, which also would mean that they would have to like walk around more towards the end.
Yeah.
But twice that stacks, like 4 or 5 tires would fall at a time. And at the end of it, and this is where TJ really gets into his Jeff Probst like
Yeah.
personality. He's like, "You're almost there. It's coming down to this. Like it is neck and neck." It was very Jeff Probsty, and
Very.
it looks like, so basically Derek and Shannon are restacking their ones that fell, and Justine and Enzo are on their last trip, and it ends up that Justine and Enzo end up winning. And
Yep.
really, if Derek and Shannon had just been smarter about their strategy, they would have won that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I think Enzo and Justine just had the better. Once again, like last week, Sarah and Leo, or really Leo, had a better starting strategy that ended up helping them at the end. Where, same here, Enzo and Justine had a better strategy at the beginning of making a really strong base foundation and not just stacking these unsteady tires up that just kept tumbling. And that saved them so much time. They made up that deficit.
Yeah. If Derek and Shannon, if one of them had been like, let's do the same thing as them, Derek and Shannon win that easily.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
we end up with Enzo and Justine winning, which is great because we love Justine around here.
Yeah,
However, I
she's
am
great.
sad to lose Shannon. Shannon's confessionals have been hilarious. She has been a fun personality. I feel like Derek's been fun to have on the show too. Like I feel like he's been a really good he's been like a good in terms
Yeah.
of partners. Like we've really seen him almost every week featured with his partner, and I feel like it's because he at least brings out some sort of like social component of them that maybe not all the other partners do.
Derek X was a fan favorite on Big Brother 23. People loved him. I think he came in second place for America's Favorite Player after Queen Tiffany won it. People really, really loved him. They did like a fan vote for, I forget what it was. I was trying to think of it was like a BB Casino or something like that, where they would, fans would vote and they would get money to be able to buy powers. And he was like consistently getting the most, like people really loved him. So I feel like he was a little underutilized this season. I don't know, maybe he just like wasn't giving as much, but I was surprised to see how under the radar he was in the edit, because he really was like very, very well liked on Big Brother 23.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't help that he like never won a challenge.
Yeah, I think that probably doesn't help also,
but we did get glimpses of him that we didn't get of a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And what seemed like for no reason, which I guess it really was, because like when him and Shan were partners, there was like a heavy Shan and Derek emphasis, and they had nothing to do with really that episode. And
yeah,
so
he almost had it last week when he partnered with, was it Kayla? He was partnered with, and they were so far ahead of that challenge, the swimming.
Yeah,
but
then they like choked on the puzzle.
Winning. Yeah,
yeah. And we got, if I am correct, our first from TJ of the season. We hope to see you in the future for these two. I haven't heard it yet. I'm usually paying attention for it, but this is, I think, the first one we got. We hope to see you in the future from TJ to both of them.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, I hope that they're on another Challenge USA type of season, not a main show challenge, just because I just don't feel like the main show challenge is what it used to be anymore.
Right. No, it's a bit boring. So
I actually read something about the format of the I don't know what they're going to call it. Probably not War of the Worlds, because that already happened on the regular show, but whatever this like international challenge, everybody coming together on Paramount Plus.
The Challenge Olympics, as I've called it a few times.
Yeah, great. I heard that they're going to bring Big Brother people on that never played in the challenge. I heard they're like sourcing from outside of the challenge for this.
All right, if you are someone who doesn't like knowing anything that might happen in the future, we've said everything we need to say, so like see you next week. But if you don't care about hearing this stuff, then stick around. So I have read that they are contacting not just people who have won MTV's The Challenge, but people who have been in finals of MTV's The Challenge. So I saw things like Nani, Anissa as names, which like if Anissa is on this show, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed.
Fucking bin it. I'm done. Anissa needs to retire. And I like Anissa, but I'm just done. I'm done. Why? Isn't this supposed to be like the best challenger list ever? Like Anissa's not the best challenger. She's good TV, but like she's not good at the game or the show.
If you're gonna call, like, if they called in like John A, I would be like, okay, that makes sense.
Give us John A, give us Wes, give us those people. I'm good with that. But like,
even if you can get people like Emily Schramm in, who hasn't been on in forever, but clearly is still in the shape to do it. Nani, like, how many chances has Nani had to win? How many chances has Anissa had to win?
Right. And clearly they're not the best.
Right. So we have people like that. I've also heard that they are even contacting people from this season of the Challenge USA who don't win. So
okay. I would be okay with almost anyone coming back unless it's David.
So yeah, and then I don't know what they're doing with like outside of what like the other countries, but I know like USA, I don't think it's going to be as limited as we think it is, which I do think is kind of unfortunate, because if you're gonna like promote this way, give me the best of the best of the challenge. I don't want the best of the best. Like, okay, I'm trying to think. I don't know any recent Big Brother winners who aren't on this season of the challenge that aren't Casey or Josh Martinez. You know what I mean? Like,
Um,
but I don't want that person. Whoever it is that you're thinking of, I don't want them.
yeah, neither do I. I'm thinking Cody Calafiore. I'm thinking, well, Josh was a winner of Big
Yeah, I
Brother.
don't even want
Yeah,
Josh. Like, you didn't win the challenge. Like, I know Casey's boring as fuck,
I
but
don't want Casey.
if
She doesn't make good TV
did she won last season, right?
with CT, right?
I think, yeah. Like, I get not wanting her, but at the same time, she at least meets the qualifications for it. Um,
Cody Calafiore, Polly's brother, just won Big Brother All Stars. I'm trying to think of who else. Josh was Big Brother 19. Casey was Big Brother 20. Big Brother 18 was Nicole Franzel. She would never come on. Derek Levasseur, which, like, no, 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 no. Dan Giesling not coming on. Ian Terry not coming on. Jordan not coming on. Like, these are all I can't see any winners of Big
and
Brother
that's the thing.
unless,
It's
like,
like,
we get Dr. Will, but Dr. Will's not doing it.
are you going to contact people like, I don't know, Wendell, who's won Survivor somewhat recently,
Well, Wendell
or
was supposed to be on, from what I understand, the regular challenge or this, one of the two, either the regular challenge or this, but he had an ACL surgery, so he couldn't come.
he
I would
was
love to see
in?
Wendell.
Oh, same. I just don't want Wendell on like the Challenge Olympics. Like, I kind of want people to earn their way into the Challenge Olympics.
Me
Like,
too.
I would be again. I know I'm dropping a name that people don't want to hear, but like, I would rather see even like a Johnny Bananas over someone who hasn't won the challenge. Um, so I don't know. It's just like, I'm interested to see what they do with it, but I've also heard the same thing that they're pulling from more than just people who've won the challenge. And I get that there's only one season of the Challenge USA, but like, put CT on, like, shit.
Yeah, bring a CT. It sounds like they're bringing, yeah, Big Brother, Survivor, The Amazing Race potential winners. I
Yeah.
don't know any Amazing Race winners. Survivor could be interesting from a winner's perspective, but like, I don't know who would do it. Other than like some of the winners we already have on, like a Ben, a Sarah, a Tyson, which like I don't want Ben and Sarah on again.
And they
Maybe
very ruined
Marianne, but like,
Natalie.
is Marianne gonna Natalie? But didn't
No.
she get canceled from the challenge because she had old
She,
tweets?
I don't think she got canceled. I don't think she wants to come back.
Oh, I thought she was not allowed to come back because she had old tweets
Uh,
surface.
I don't know. I know that she hated it. She
Oh,
yeah, she like thought that the challenge was a worse experience than Survivor in terms of like living situations.
I'm
Because
trying to
she just
remember. Were they
wanted
in the bunker? Was she in the bunker? No,
uh she might have been in
I
a
don't remember.
bunker, but it was more the idea of like everybody has to go out. She didn't want to go out. She's like, I'll stay here and work out so you can film me do that. And they're like, no, you have to go.
Yeah.
Like, like the challenge setup wasn't as much for her. She wasn't a big fan of it. I don't think we'll get her back. Um,
The other person I could think from Survivor is maybe Jeremy, who I would love to see because he's great. He would be Jeremy and Wendell. I would love to see those two. I don't know who else. Sophie? I can't see Sophie doing it. Oh, Michelle.
yeah.
Michelle,
Yeah.
who's been on the challenge.
Right. And I heard that Wendell was supposed to be on her.
Yeah, her challenge season. That's why Tommy was on, right? Oh, Tommy. Ugh. I guess we can get
Tommy
Tommy
can't
back.
anymore. Tommy, like, I think with his job, he said like he's officially out because he's a
He's a
principal
teacher.
now.
Oh, he's a
He was a teacher, but
principal.
he's a principal now. So like,
Okay. Yeah. No. So.
he that was like his last hurrah, and he got concussed out, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I've heard that too. We'll see how it goes. I know that the other countries have started like or the spoiler sites have started releasing their casts, but their cast like much smaller than the American cast. It's like 16-ish people versus 28.
Oh, interesting.
And from what I read, I think that they want to start filming the like world one around November.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess logistically it makes sense. I just back to the challenge people who have made finals but have never won. That's like what the what the last
This
All
All
Stars
Stars premise was, yeah.
theme was. Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
we're gonna get Kayla and Sylvia again. Like, I'm good. Are we gonna get Kellyanne again? I'm good. Like, we just literally saw these people. I mean, I would take Nehemiah again. But like, are we gonna have Brad? Are we really gonna like mix the? I don't want. That's like too much for me. Like, All Stars is great because it is what it is, and it's back to basics, and it's all these people that we love and are fun at the challenge and made the challenge what it is. Then Challenge USA is great because it's all new people from new shows that are learning how to play the game, and we're getting to see them interact with people from other shows and make alliances from what they show. And then the challenge main show is just what it is, and it's not hasn't been good for a while. So like, why are we taking Challenge All Stars, potentially Challenge USA, bringing in more international people, which is kind of when. And it's not, some of the international people have been really great. It's not, I'm not saying that we shouldn't bring in international people. Like, Kyle's been fun. Who else? Turbo was good. There's a few people, but Jenny who won was good. There's Big T was good. Like, there are good people, but it's like most of them were kind of flops.
Yeah.
So why are we replicating that and ruining the other two shows that we have that are good? Why are we ruining that? That's when the challenge got bad, is when we started War of the Worlds.
Yeah, I'm hoping what's happening is like they're casting a big net and then are going to narrow it down more.
I hope so.
But no, the other part is like, if you make it too America heavy, why even include the other countries? Because
right.
so much of the challenge comes down to like numbers and alliances that like they're not going to align with like these challenge Argentina people, or like over people you already know. So if it's going to be twice as many Americans as it is the people from the other countries, like, why are we setting it up this way in the first place? So I don't know. I could see like take the man and woman who win the Challenge USA, pick from who you want it to be from the challenge, like whatever. If you want to bring in John A and then whatever man you want to choose of the three who can make it, either Yes West or MJ, fine, I would support that. So like, I think at most it should be 6 because you are getting a man and woman from each iteration.
Yeah.
And then after that, like, that's still going to put it's still going to seem like America versus, because if you have Australia, Argentina, I can't remember what other countries are doing it. So it still like is heavily swayed towards being American heavy. That sure, I'm gonna enjoy it more if there's more people on there that I know, but at the same time, like, if you're gonna make this big scene, I would like it to at least be somewhat fair in terms of like,
it feels like we're just replicating the same issue that the main show has, and I'm like, why are you taking the people are giving really good reviews to All Stars and Challenge USA, and the Challenge main show has lost a lot of steam over the last few years, and everybody's been pretty vocal about that. So why are we replicating? I just want to know, like, where does Viacom in general and CBS get their feedback from? Because it's like they do the opposite. We know Jeff Probst feels like he has like his ear to the streets and doesn't care what the Twitter people say. Like, he's very open about that. But like, where does the challenge get their feedback from? Because they're not listening.
Yeah.
The one thing they listened to was when they brought back Justin Booth, who was the producer and like he, came up with the original format or whatever. But that season where they had like the redemption houses and they had they were ending every episode in a cliffhanger with no elimination. That was like it. And that's when everybody rioted. And I feel like they really listened to the feedback about people not liking cliffhangers. Yeah. But like in general, are you guys listening? Is there a feedback form? Where are you getting it from?
Is there a Google form I can fill out?
Yeah, are you browsing? Do the Facebook people like this? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. No, my other fear is that the way that they set up the world one is going to cause them to be like, all right, well, this sucked. We didn't do it. There's no need for the challenge CBS, where like clearly we're getting a much better experience out of the challenge CBS. So like my best friend, she watched the first episode. I think I told you guys, where she was like, I'm either going to love or hate this Tyson guy. It's like nowhere in between. It's like, just wait, girl. And so we went on vacation together last week, and I was like, have you kept up with the challenge? She's like, no. I'm like, you need to watch it. Because she's like been in and out of the MTV challenge for the last few years. was like, this is better than the MTV challenge. Oh, and
Mm-hmm.
she's watched all the old ones because like, is it Sling TV where they have like a
Oh, Pluto.
uh Pluto, right,
Yep.
that just has like a challenge station. So she's
Yeah.
like watched a lot of the older seasons to have a better understanding of the current ones. I was like, no, like I'm telling you, this is one of the best seasons I've seen, and like it's the best in a while. That and she texted me today, and she's like, oh yeah, this is actually a lot better. So like
Mm-hmm.
it is more or less across the board getting very good reviews, and that I would just be disappointed if we're like if MTV's The Challenge stays the way it is, even though there's two different iterations doing different things in them and is getting much better feedback than MTV's The Challenge, and we lose the CBS Challenge because the world version
Yeah.
doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would hate that. I would hate that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, again, we are. If there's anything we're good for, it's going off on tangents that are not about CBS The Challenge. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're a challenge fan, you hopefully enjoy these conversations.
Yeah.
I know I do.
We try
It's
and
so
be the
hard to
voice of
like
the people, you know?
yeah, I just like consume so much content of the challenge
Yeah.
between like Reddit and Twitter and all this, and then to like it just all comes out
I know.
here.
I've fallen off a little bit from Reddit just because I didn't watch the last season. So, I mean, I watched like part of it and then it's like I can't do this anymore. I
Hmm.
Do you think I should go back and watch it or is it not worth it? I mean, I know who wins, obviously. Is there
I mean,
anything worth
well, remember I also had like every aspect of my life just hit the fan.
Right. That's
So
right.
I
That's right.
didn't finish it either. But I
Okay.
do plan on watching it before the next season comes out just because I feel like obligated to.
Yeah.
But I can do that and then let you know because if you watch that before you watch Real Housewives of Miami, I will walk to New York City and fight you. So
Maybe I'll start that today since I'm in basically COVID
yeah,
isolation.
yeah, you basically have COVID. You
Yeah, I may
you're
as well.
you're
This is going to
COVID
be
adjacent.
the most annoying thing is going to be like if I get it in like 5 days and then I'm like still like I'd rather if I
Yeah,
have it like just I want it now.
yeah.
So we could be on the
It's
same
like
schedule.
exactly. No, that makes total sense. Um, but did Matt get it when you had it?
No.
So
No.
when
But I
Lavelle
was
had it, I
masked
didn't
like
get it.
I was masked. He slept on the couch that time. I slept in the bed. I was like everywhere I went I
Mhm.
had my mask on. Um and no, he didn't get it. So very surprisingly. And I
Yeah,
tested I've been testing every day. I don't have it. So I
yeah.
tested already today. I don't have it. So
That's there's so many like couples that I know that like one's gotten
mhm.
it and the other hasn't. It's very strange.
Very strange.
So yeah, maybe start that today. Again, like I told you, not that this is a cool water show right now. That's gonna be later in a few days.
Mhm.
But season one, kind of slow. But season two, top notch television.
Okay.
Top notch housewives television,
Perfect.
should say.
Perfect.
But
Which
so
is
is
top notch
season
television
three.
anyway, so
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So um all right. With that being said, I think we've talked everything challenge. Next week, it seems like they're driving cars around and like trying to pop each other's balloons.
It seems
And
like we might get a Tyson Sarah partnership. I also shared in the private chat. Someone on Twitter did do the math, found
oh,
it.
thank you.
We don't need to talk about it now, but it does. Like I think the TLDR, I didn't read it too much. Is that it does not seem like it was random. So
I just replicated. It's absurd the amount of permutations and sure zero part. Yeah, that's essentially what I said.
yeah,
And
absurd
I
the amount
could
of
sit down
permutations in a treasure.
and figure this out. So there's 1,816 combinations that would have ensured that no one had repeat partners like Angela and Dominic did.
If the algorithm was truly random, doubt it is. It should have most probably Angela with David or Enzo, and Dominic should have been with Alyssa, the most probable matchup. Yeah, the production wanted to pair Ben with Sarah. Excuse don't work, as there are plenty of combinations left. Even if my calculation of 18, 16 cases is wrong, this isn't trivial at all. You can very easily grab a pen and paper, draft multiple combinations at work with zero repetitions. You even have the luxury to avoid unwanted pairings very easily. Anyway, I'm frustrated the challenge production outright lied to our faces last night. To make matters worse, they decided to show it. Not surprising. I mean, this is typical challenge. They rig stuff all the time.
Yeah, this isn't perfect. Um, and it just makes like, first of all, I'm going to follow this account because this is
Yeah,
my
this
type of shit. This is
challenge
math and the
shout out to
challenge.
at challenge stats on Twitter. That's who posted it. If you want to go read their formulas.
Yeah, I mean, this is two of the things that I don't love math, but I like it and I'm good at it. And so,
Mm-hmm.
um, combining two things that I either love or like. So, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm here and I'm following it. But yeah, exactly like we said, it like they said in one of the tweets, like you could have very easily sat down and just figured out using
You're right. Pen and
just the
paper.
lists of the previous partnerships
Mm-hmm.
and created a list that worked. So yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like even with a small number, I feel like the like if you're pairing things, I'm not a math person, but it feels like even like a smaller amount of people or things in general to be randomized, like there's still like a ton of combination. Like if you're trying to figure out a 4-digit combination from like 0 to 9, there's still so many combinations there that you can make. It feels the same
Yeah,
thing
it
with the
would
challenge. Like there's still so many people there that like there's so many combinations of people you could make that it seems strange that they would be repeating already in week
right
6.
because the order in that would matter because like if you pick Angela and Tyson, then Tyson and Angela, that's the same pair. So you'd want to
Right.
eliminate that. That makes it a permutation. And so, like, there is a formula for that. And you can very easily do it on your TI-84 if you still have it. If
Mm.
not,
Turn
there's
your
other
iPhone
ways.
sideways and you get a
Does
scientific
it have?
calculator.
I'm not going to, I use the sideways calculator a lot. And I don't think
Oh,
it
maybe it doesn't have
has,
that many things. I don't know.
um, I'm looking now. Oh, open the calculator app, you dumbass. I like had to unlock my phone and I didn't do that. No, they don't have combinations and
Interesting.
permutations, but um, graphing calculators do. Desmos, if you are a math teacher or science teacher, you know what Desmos is. Desmos is the shit, and like you can easily do it on there. But either way, yeah, that's bullshit, and I would like formal explanation from CBS about why they did that.
Your move, CBS.
Come on, TJ. Come on the podcast and explain it. We'll be nice to you.
Well, he does claim an algorithm, right? So,
Yeah, it's perfect.
yeah,
So he said that multiple times.
he did.
Anything else you want to say about this week's episode
No,
or next week's?
no.
No, I think we've covered the challenge. All right. Well, then, Katie, what are you doing on the internet these days?
Well, you can give me a follow on Twitter at RealSimKatie if you would like to do so. You can also follow me on Instagram at the same handle, but I don't feel like anything happens there. That's very interesting. You can also give me a follow on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSimKatie with an underscore at the end. Last weekend had a super successful charity stream that was 12 hours long where we were able to raise $4,200 for the Bridget Alliance, which is truly incredible. I never thought we would. I was like thinking we were going to raise like $500 and we raised 4,200, which was amazing. But that link,
Wow.
yeah, really, really incredible. So that goes to anyone in need of abortion services that can't get it in their state. The Bridget Alliance will help you with anything logistics wise, like transportation, food costs, healthcare, childcare if you need it, if you have kids at home, lodging, all of that kind of stuff. They help. They help people like that who need it if they have to cross state lines because their state has restricted access. So that link is actually still on my Twitter. The just because the stream is over doesn't mean you can't donate. So if you would like to, it's a great cause. They're called the Bridget Alliance. If you Bridget with a D, if you'd like to look them up. But other than that, you can find me there just hanging, playing games and whatever, talking to people. You can also listen to me on Silent Podcasts here with Kari, TJ Hates Quitters. We'll be back this week with the Cool Water Show, talking all things Real Housewives. Yesterday, we were so lucky to have Azza join us from Big Brother 23 and the Challenge USA, talk about what's been going on in Big Brother 24. We talked a little challenge off recording, and she said she had a really great time on the show. She was so gracious and wonderful and such a great person to have a conversation with. She was awesome. So sweet. So shout out to her. Thank you so much for coming on. Kari, she also told me that she's a huge Real Housewives fan, so she's going to check us out. And I told her the invite is open if she ever wants to come join us. So we will see.
Hey, is she busy Monday night?
I know, right? Maybe I'll hit her up. She said that she's an Atlanta girl, and I was like, well, we are covering Atlanta, so if you ever want
We
to come
can
on, and a
do an
Potomac girl.
Atlanta specific episode for her.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll message her. She was
Good.
great. She was super, super great. She was awesome. And other than that, yeah. So you can listen to me on Big Brother coverage on the Bounce Checks podcast, which we record every Friday. And we are starting up House of the Dragon coverage as of like today. We decided. So check that out. Sunday, we're gonna do a pre-show that's gonna give you kind of all the background that you need to get up to speed on where the show is. It's a prequel to Game of Thrones, so we're kind of going to give you just like all the stuff that you need to know. So that will be with myself, Josh Kettles, and Chanel, which is really exciting. Fun panel.
Valencia said she loved yesterday's show.
Thank you, Valencia. Yesterday's show was great. It was a lot of fun.
As for me, I am back into like real life form. I was vacationing and moving for 2 weeks, so I'm back. You're stuck with me. But in terms of the internet, KGD26, wherever you need to find me. And then podcasting, TJ Hates Quitters, and The Cool Water Show. Maybe I'll eventually get this Boy Meets World thing off the ground, but slow and steady wins a race or something like that. I'm a tortoise right now. I'm not a hare. I am a tortoise. So, but yeah, definitely give me a follow on Twitter. I am currently in the middle of creating a thread of people that I irrationally don't trust. So if you have comments on that, let me know. Katie had a comment because she doesn't post her BeReals on time, so I no longer trust her.
I am not a picky eater, just for everybody.
I thought you replied to the picky eater one, which is why I was like, oh, you're a picky eater? I didn't know that.
No, I'm not.
I didn't look to see what you replied to. Yeah, I've gotten some funny replies so far. And like I said, it's just irrational. Like there's no logic to any of these. There's a little logic to some, but
well, picky eaters, I'm sorry, no offense if any of you in the chat are picky eaters, are annoying as fuck. So
well, that's why I don't trust you. Like it's because this is my outlook on food is no one makes food except if it's the challenge final for it to taste disgusting.
Right. Like you are missing out.
Yeah, with the intention of it tasting good. And so for me, like if I don't like it, it's a personal thing, but I'm always going to try it. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to try it once, and if I don't like it, great. And if like that's my own issue, it's not this food is disgusting. Like I hate toast. Everyone finds that weird, but like I just don't like toast. But I've still tried it many times to make sure that it's not just like, oh, I had a bad toast experience versus like, no, it's me. I just don't like things that come on toasters.
I don't like mushrooms.
Picky eaters. Oh, I put mushrooms in my mac and cheese today. I made some Velveeta today because another group of friends was like talking heavily about like this guy, his girlfriend won't let him eat Kraft mac and cheese because she said it's not healthy or something. And it's like, shut up, we're all going to die anyway.
Also, the Kraft company is like bad, but yeah.
Minor detail in the grand scheme of how bad the fake cheese is. But yeah, like Velveeta is apparently like eating plastic. So I ate that for lunch.
I actually prefer Velveeta shells are my favorite boxed mac and cheese.
They're good. That's what I had today. And I put shrimp, spinach, and mushrooms in it.
Oh, interesting.
I'll throw anything in mac and cheese.
I'm kind of a mac and cheese purist. Like, just give me the mac and cheese. Just give me the pasta and the cheese. But I'll eat mac and cheese with stuff in it.
So my mom used to put like ketchup on mac and cheese.
Nope.
And I'll even do. Yep.
Nope.
I'll only do it on Kraft mac and cheese though.
I don't actually really like ketchup. So
ketchup is a condiment, in my opinion, that like falls the most from grace as you get older.
Yeah, it's good if you're like a literal child, but once you have an adult palate and you realize, oh, every other condiment is 100% better than this, like do better. Just do better.
If you put ketchup on your Mount Rushmore of condiments, I don't trust you. That's my next tweet.
No, yeah, you should tweet that out. That's a good one. I wholeheartedly agree with you there.
It's just there's so many better condiments. No, and then
anything that ketchup does, hot sauce can replace, and it's better. So you can use hot sauce to replace ketchup on everything.
I've gotten better about spicy stuff.
Spicy.
That's the thing is like, I just don't enjoy it. I can eat it, but like if I have the option for spicy and not spicy, I'm gonna go not spicy. However, like I've gotten better where like I can handle a bit more spice. Where like my boyfriend will eat spicy everything, or even my roommate eats like spicy stuff, and so I always have to like, okay, we can do this. I had the most delicious banana pudding 2 nights ago. So I just wanted to bring this up that Valencia says she doesn't like banana pudding. But I feel like banana pudding is more of like a niche thing than like toast or ketchup.
I hate bananas.
Oh,
Like, hate bananas. Like, hate them. That's probably maybe my most unpopular food opinion is that I hate. Like, it's like baby food mush. It's disgusting to me. I can't. Ugh, hate it.
bananas
Hate
are
bananas.
in my regular breakfast. I make a banana peanut butter honey wrap and put it in the air fryer.
Oh, I mean, the peanut butter and honey sound good, but
Yeah.
the bananas can go.
So yeah, if you have other people that, or if you have groups of people that you irrationally don't trust, please let me know because I'm interested in hearing that. I don't know why, but yeah, like yesterday I was just like, I just couldn't get it out of my brain. I'm like, there's these little niche groups that I think my most niche one currently is like if you didn't watch The Last Dance during COVID because
Didn't
there was
watch The Last
nothing
Dance
else.
during
You
COVID.
didn't?
No,
Katie,
but I don't
it's
think
so
I have
good.
ESPN Plus. Isn't it on ESPN Plus?
It was on ESPN,
Oh, I thought it was on
but I think
ESPN
it's on
Plus.
Netflix now.
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch it. I was watching every season of Survivor, and then back seasons of Big Brother. That's what I was doing with my quarantine.
Yeah, it was like appointment TV for my roommate and I. Like this was the only thing that we had to look forward to. So, uh, great television. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing on the internet. Totally sidetracked there. Yeah, tell me who you don't trust because I'm probably in one of those groups. So
This is going to be unpopular, but I don't trust people who post pictures of their babies with disgusting food on their faces. Like, we don't need to see it. That's only cute to you. Just keep it for yourself.
I'm just like anti-baby pictures in general, which
Yeah, I mean, me too, kind
I
of.
get
But, like,
it.
I
I
get
get
it. You're going to post
it.
it. But, like, you don't need to
Yeah.
post the nasty ones, okay? Because that's not cute to anyone but that baby's parents.
I think we've had the conversation where um I think I told you like there's this girl I went to college with that like she just hashtags every single picture she puts up of her 2 kids. And like I haven't spoken in person to this girl since college. So that's it's what 2022. I graduated in 2010. So this is 12ish years ago, right? She's had 2 kids in the meantime. I know like the theme of their bedrooms, the like just the little shit
Yes.
of because like everything is documented
Yes.
online and it's like I don't need to know that your firstborn had a Beatles themed bedroom. Like I don't.
Oh, yeah, I remember this because I was like, oh, God. What?
Yeah, like Ringo Starr is over your head as you're falling
Like, you don't
asleep.
need, no one needs that.
So I don't know. Kids in general are weird. They ruin lives. I I'm just
Valencia said she missed this dynamic duo of us, and I think we did too because we've gone off on so many tangents because we haven't spoken in over a week.
yeah, we've just been talking. So,
We have.
welcome to basically how our pre and post conversations goes as well for podcasts. So yeah, that's it. That's what I'm doing online is telling people I don't trust them because they fit these little niche groups that I've made up in my head.
I'm gonna think of my own.
Yeah, please reply to my Twitter thread. Add in.
I will.
I
I will.
because everyone's like welcome to have their groups they don't trust. I've gotten some like interesting responses as well, like especially to the teleporting one. Like JD's like everybody picks that though. I'm like I don't care. Superpowers
Because
are
it's the
like
best. It's the most efficient one.
yeah, it's a time to be practical. It's not a time to be unique.
Yeah, you can teleport yourself out of dangerous situations. You can teleport yourself home if there's traffic or if your subway's not working. You can
If you want
teleport
like
yourself anywhere you want to go. If you want to go on
yeah,
vacation,
like I just want
who
paella for
wants to sit
dinner,
on
but
a
I want it
plane?
straight from Spain. Like
Right.
okay, here we go. And I'm home before bedtime.
Right.
I don't even need to get Nitro a dog sitter.
Right.
How yeah, I just don't trust people who are like, oh, flying. But what if the weather's bad? Or like reading minds. You do not let you guys
I
hear
don't
the
want to
shit I
know.
say out loud.
Yeah, I don't want to know
Imagine
what
the
anybody's
things I
thinking.
don't.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
need to know, and I don't want you people knowing what I'm thinking. I don't keep that to yourself. There's a level of privacy here that we should keep.
Or like being all knowing, because no, then you're a jackass. Like no one likes you.
Yeah, also like ignorance is bliss, okay? In a lot of ways. So, please.
Yeah, just let me like I would not that I don't already Irish goodbye everything in my life because I hate goodbyes in general,
Me too.
but
It's
oh, if I could teleport, I would Irish goodbye the shit out of everything.
Yeah, that would be pretty great.
It would just be like more efficient because I wouldn't have to like weave my way
Yeah,
through
we
like
can be like, oh, is
crowds
this
to
person gonna
go. It would
see
just
me
be like,
leave?
snap, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm at home.
Boop. I'm
Bye.
with you. I'm with you.
Okay, we're gonna go because I have like how many episodes of Real Housewives do I need to watch that I missed? I have not watched a single episode of New Jersey. Wait, no, I'm kidding, not New Jersey, of Atlanta or Beverly Hills since we last podcasted. So I have like a ton of that. I've been watching New Jersey instead, just because I don't have to take
Honestly,
notes.
better off
But
because early season New Jersey is better than anything that Beverly Hills is giving us. Right? It's you haven't missed much. Let me just tell you. Atlanta's
it's
been
just
fun though.
nice because like I can put it on and like still do other things where I have to actually like
Yeah.
watch so I can talk about it. But I guess we can have our like pre cool water show discussion right here. I'm not taking notes for any of these episodes. I'm coming
Great.
in straight vibes for the ones that we're talking about
I'm down
next.
on straight vibes, especially if we're drinking a
Perfect.
buzzball.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
in
have
on
to
straight
get
vibes.
that. Perfect. Okay, cool. So if you want to see buzz balls and straight vibes, check us out
Join us for our
either
30th episode, our 30th birthday.
yes, it's either going to be Monday or Tuesday. We'll let you know. But okay, so the closing part of this, do I know where to listen to us and shit? Like, do I really need to say this? Just kidding. I'm going to. Gotta. The brand is strong. So we are on Twitch and YouTube where you can watch the videos. So like if you watch today, you can see Katie freezing. You can see the giant like massive pimple I have on my face if that's your thing. You know, just in general, I think we're a little bit funnier to watch in person, but it's okay if you don't. Follow us at silent_podcast on Twitter so that you can see when we post our podcast. And then our podcasts are on, you know, all of the platforms like Apple, Spotify, that type of stuff. So rate, subscribe, I don't know, follow, whatever you're supposed to do to make us become popular. Give us 5 stars. If this wasn't 5 stars, then maybe the next one will be. Wait until you hear a 5-star episode, or you could just lie and say it was 5 stars. Like no one's gonna hold this over your head in like the court of law or anything. Probably. I don't want to say definitely. You never know. But yeah, just like do those things. Help us grow. But until
Yeah,
next
some
time,
news.
again.
We might have
Oh,
some. If you feel like we're crowding up your podcast feed, we're working on making some separate feeds, so we'll announce it soon once that's all done. But we're working on that this weekend, so you might see us in our own feed soon.
yeehaw. Lots of TJ hates quitters coming in your
Yeah.
feed, coming in hot. So until next time, so if you want to catch us on Cool Water Show, that'll be coming up Monday or Tuesday. If not, we'll be back Wednesday night on our normal schedule. Again, sorry for the delay, but it's summer and I had to
Yeah.
move. So we'll be back Wednesday night to talk about next week's episode. And until then, enjoy your weekend, night, whatever time of day it is. And thank you for listening. Bye.